Hello people, this is Sonali, the Melodramatic Bookworm. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to the Melodramatic Bookworm family. Also welcome to a brand new Drama Queenathon. For those of you who don't know, Drama Queenathon is the name of every readathon that I host, but it started off as a Women's Month readathon and I thought that I would bring it back again. I hosted this readathon last year as well, and I did a whole reading vlog in which I read feminist literature. If you'd like to go check that out, link will be here as well as in the description box below. In Drama Queenathon, we focus on reading books by women authors across International Women's Month. I mean, it's not like you have to read only women authors across the month, but you have to read only women authors for Drama Queenathon. There are not many rules to this readathon because I wanted to keep things simple for you, but the only rules are, first, that you have to read only women authors. You can read any number of books as you want. Second is that you have to read at least one book by an Indian woman. And third, you have to read at least one book by a transgender woman. And Drama Queenathon 2024 starts at 12 AM of March the 1st, 2024 and ends at 11:59 PM of March the 31st, 2024. And if you're participating, and I hope you are, and if you're sharing your progress or anything related to the readathon on social media, then please use the hashtag DramaQueenAthon and tag me in your posts, in your stories, in your videos, so that I can see them and share them. That's the whole readathon for you. Pretty simple, isn't it? I hope you will join in because it is like, you can read 3 books and say that you've completed the readathon. Now on to my March 2024 TBR, including my TBR for Drama Queenathon. The thing is, I used to read only women authors for International Women's Month and I still intend to do it. But I am currently in the middle of reading David Copperfield. I've just started it a couple of days ago, not even a couple of days ago, yesterday. And I'm about 1 chapter in. And I'm reading this in preparation for Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. Like, I know that's technically not necessary, but I'm nothing if not thorough. If you tell me that a book on my TBR is based on another book, then I'm going to read this other book before going on to this book. It's just how I roll. So David Copperfield will also be a book that I will be reading across March, only because I will be continuing it. I won't be starting it, but I will not be starting any book by an author who's not female or female identifying in March. Okay, now that we've established that, let's move on to the actual TBR. First up, my TBR for Drama Queenathon. I'm hoping to do a vlog for the books that I read for Drama Queenathon, which will obviously go up either towards the end of March or in the beginning of April. But I'm hoping that I will be able to finish reading the books for this much earlier than that, so that I have enough time to properly edit and upload the vlog for you. Okay, quick point here is that these 3 prompts are not exclusive. You can mix them, you can match them. If you find a book that matches all 3 prompts, you can just read one book, or if you want to read multiple books for everything or for each prompt, you can do that as well. So if you are able to do that, feel free to mix and match according to your convenience, but it has to follow the rule of the prompt. Okay, but for me being the ambitious woman that I am, I have chosen 2 books for each of these prompts. So the first prompt for Drama Queenathon is read books by women authors, and the first book that I have chosen is All About Love by Bell Hooks. This will be my first book by Bell Hooks. I actually wanted to get Feminism is for Everybody and read it this month, but I've also heard amazing things about this book as well. And knowing the impact that Bell Hooks has had on feminism doesn't make this any less of a great choice as well. So what this is about? This is about the word love is most often defined as a noun. Yet we would all love better if we used it as a verb, writes Bell Hooks as she comes out fighting and on fire in All About Love. The renowned scholar, cultural critic and feminist skewers our view of love as romance. In its place, she offers a proactive new ethic for a people and a society bereft with lovelessness. In 13 concise chapters, Hooks examines her own search for emotional connection and society's failure to provide a model for learning to love. Raising the cultural paradigm that the ideal love is infused with sex and desire, she provides a new path to love that is sacred, redemptive, and healing for individuals and for a nation. The second book that I've chosen for this prompt is Learned by Heart by Emma Donoghue. This is a book that I received from Pan Macmillan Australia last year, and I still haven't gotten around to reading this, but I feel like this is would be a great time for me to read this historical fiction about two women and their friendship or relationship. And the fact that I have loved Emma Donoghue's works before, including The Pull of the Stars and Room, and I've gushed about it so many times on my channel, should tell me that somehow I'm going to really enjoy reading this book despite the mixed reviews out there. And those mixed reviews are kind of scaring me, but that's okay. I'll decide for myself once I have read this book. The second Drama Queenathon prompt is read at least one book by an Indian author, and I have chosen two books again for this, and the first of that is Interpreter of Melodies by Jhumpa Lahiri. And we all know what a huge Jhumpa Lahiri fan I am, and I wasn't going to let this readathon get by without adding at least one Jhumpa Lahiri book to this list. And what better Lahiri to read than her short story collection that won her the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction. Interpreter of Melodies is a collection of 9 short stories following Indian American characters learning about the truth of the big world, culture shocks and generation gaps. And this description reminds me of The Namesake, which is a groundbreaking book on its own, even though it isn't my favorite Jhumpa Lahiri book. I did a full video review of The Namesake. If you'd like to go check that out, link will be here as well as in the description box below. I started 2024 with Roman Stories, which I was about, even though I overall liked it, which is why this is one book that I'm so excited to read this month, because I'm like yearning to go back to that Lahiri that I love. And the second book for this prompt is Coming Out as Dalit by Yashika Dutt. This is part of the 10 books that I want to read in the first half of 2024 list, and I'm hoping that I will be able to read it this month. This is Yashika Dutt's memoir, in which she talks about how, following Rohit Vemula's suicide in 2016, she decided that enough was enough and that she was going to speak up about being Dalit and to stand up for her community in more visible ways. This book is said to be groundbreaking in the way it looks at caste and the caste system in its entirety and calls for everyone to stand up against the injustice of it all. I'm really looking forward to reading this one because I feel like this is a book that will help me understand at least a part of why our country is where it is, and as a result, where it is headed. And the third Drama Queenathon prompt is read at least one book by a transgender woman, and the first book that I've chosen for this prompt is a book that I wanted to read last year but I never got around to reading it. That book is Detransition Baby by Tori Peters. This is a book that I first borrowed last year from the library, but 5 pages in I saw that there were so many things that I wanted to highlight in here that a library copy just wasn't going to cut it. I wanted to annotate, I wanted to tab it, I wanted to read it while writing in it, and that's why I got myself a copy of this book, which unfortunately I haven't been able to read yet. But I think this is the perfect time for me to read it, although I do also think that any time is a good time to read it. This is about 3 women, trans and cis, and a pregnancy that changes their lives, and that information piques my interest enough for me to say that I'll definitely be reading this book in March. And the second book that I'll be reading for this prompt is Light from Uncommon Stars by Raika Aoki. And this is a book that I don't have the physical copy of, but I have requested it from the library, and I hope that it will become available in time before the end of the month, that is, and that I will be able to read it, because I'm so taken in by the gist of this book that it was just like, why didn't I know about its existence yet? But Light from Uncommon Stars is a queer science fiction novel in which there is magic and violence and identity, and all of this had my eyebrows going. This sounds so good, I can't help but repeating myself by saying that I cannot believe that this book didn't cross my radar until now. But then again, I cannot blame anyone other than myself for not looking in the first place. So consider that a lesson learned. And now that I know about this book, and now that I know all of this, I cannot not read it. Is this a promise that I will read this book no matter what? Yes it is. And I'm asking you to hold me accountable for it. So those are the books that I want to read for Drama Queenathon. There are some other books that I want to read as well, and this might be a stretch, but I am adding them as an extension to my March 2024 TBR. It's still going to be a tentative extension, but an extension nevertheless. Although this first set of books is one that I am super excited to read because I have all 27 volumes of this series. It's my first ever manga series that I'm reading, and this series, these books are omnibuses which have 3 volumes. That means if there are 27 volumes, I have 9 books of them. So yes, wait. Let me bring the books here so that you can see them. Oof. Okay. Full Metal Alchemist by Hiromu Arakawa. My hands are going to be aching by the end of this, but it's worth it because this is so satisfying to see all 27 volumes here. But I've already finished reading a couple of volumes. I've finished volumes 1 and 2, and that is what makes me so excited to get on with the series, to think that I am going to be able to finish the entire series because I know how good it is. Like, there's so many questions about humanity and the actions of humanity, their moral implications, the questions and everything that plagues us. Oh my god, it's oof. I see why people love this series so much, and I'm so glad that it's my first manga series ever. So you know now that a video about manga is coming very soon. The next book that I want to read in March is a book by one of my favorite authors of all time, and that is Family Lore by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is Elizabeth Acevedo's adult debut, in which it follows 3 sisters from a Dominican American family, and each of these sisters has secrets and powers of their own. What happens when all of these secrets come to a head at a wake is what I gathered from the blurb of this book. Look, when Elizabeth Acevedo releases a book, I read it without question because she has a power over words like no other, and she weaves them into compelling stories that will stay with you long after you've turned the last page. So even though I was pissed that Family Lore released way later in Australia than its global release, I'm just grateful that I'm now able to read it. The next book that I want to read in March is Love Boat Taipei by Abigail Hing Wen, and this is a book that I chose from my long TBR using a random number generator, which I had to spin a few times because it kept landing on male authors. I can't really blame it, but this sounds like a returning to the homeland, breaking all the rules kind of story, like XOXO perhaps, and I am here for it. And I've had the Kindle edition of this book for what feels like ages, and I guess it's time to finally jump into it. Whether or not I will read it remains to be seen. The last book on this list is one that you will be picking for me to read as subscriber pick. Yeah, I'm finally back with this series in which you pick a book for me to read and I will read and vlog it and put it up for you and let you know what I think about it. But more importantly, it is to let you know whether the book is worth your time and to help you decide whether or not you want to pick it up or not. And this time the 5 options that you have to choose from are An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. This is a dark academia queer fantasy romance with elements of horror and supernatural. A Song of Wraiths and Ruin, the duology by Roseanne A. Brown. The first book in this duology is A Song of Wraiths and Ruin, and the second is a Psalm of Storms and Silence. Next is The Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion, and this is a memoir in which the author talks about death, loss and grief. The Dictionary of Lost Words by Pip Williams. This is a historical fiction by an Australian author in which words go missing from the Oxford Dictionary, stolen by a girl who is making the Dictionary of Lost Words. And the 5th and last option is Independence by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni. This is a 2023 release if I'm not mistaken, and this is also a historical fiction. This is about 2 sisters and the story is set around the partition of India. So those are the 5 books that are the options for you to choose from for me to make a reading vlog for the month of March. At the moment, I think it's Independence that's winning, but if you want any of these other books to win, then go to my community tab. The latest post is where you can vote. So I'll obviously wait until March starts before I start reading this book. So you have some time where you can vote for the book that catches your attention the most. Okay, this is going to be fun. No, don't fall. Okay, I did a boo-boo. Wait, don't fall. Please don't fall. Okay, we got this. We got this. So those... Oh, my hands. Okay. So those are the books that I want to read in March 2024. What did you think of my TBR? What do you think of DramaQueenAthon? Will you be joining me in reading women authors this International Women's Month? What books will you be picking for this readathon, and what books do you really want to read in March 2024? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, please like it and share it to spread the word. And if you like my content and would like to see more from me, don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the bell icon beside the subscribe button to get notified as and when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and add melodrama to your life.